All right, good evening, class. This is our second week of Leadership Studies 331, Leadership Communications. And tonight I would like to take a tour of the class syllabus and also go over the signature assignments, go over the website, answer any questions you might have. If we have a little bit of time, I'd like to go to the Purdue OWL because that site has changed. I noticed that somebody posted that there was a broken link in the website. I thought I got all those, but I have several links to the OWL, so I think some of those made it past me. But I think if we go there, we can figure that out together. The website itself, the Purdue OWL, is vast. There's a lot of stuff in there, and so I think just getting into it and going to the different possible areas of the Purdue OWL will help us all understand what's there and how it can be helpful to us in this course. So I am going to share my screen now. So you should see right now the home screen. Just nod if you do see that. Okay, great. This is a new screen for me and for the other faculty. It's a recently updated template. The main difference is going to be this middle section. Just a little bit about myself. I know I have my bio on here, but I've been teaching since the beginning, teaching with the Leadership Studies program since the beginning of the program, which was in January of, for me, it was January of 2015. The first class started in August of 2014. And then I taught the third course, which was the data-driven leadership course, which will be your next course, that first year. The second year, I picked up this course. So this is the second course in the program, typically, if you're following along in a sequential manner for the 2-year program. But as I said, well, things have changed a few times. One, we started off with Moodle, which was a different learning management system than Canvas. And then at some point in time, we switched over to Canvas Prototype. We were one of the first programs at HSU to start using Canvas. I figured they thought we were the new kids on the block, the Leadership Studies program, and also because we were a totally online program, they thought we were good guinea pigs for them. So we started with that, and then about a year later, they transitioned us to the permanent Canvas site. Each time we did those changes, we had a new website to develop. And then just this year, they came out with this new template. Now, the nice thing is now the program's grown to a size that we have instructional designers and web developers that work with us at Humboldt. And this wonderful lady named Terry helped me put together my site, and she was so helpful. I owe her a bottle of wine or something. So if we look at this front page, we see these nice boxes that help us navigate to the different weeks and also to the other pages in the site. And I'm sure you've probably clicked around and you found out where week 1 was and all the assignments and so on and so forth. I should say, if you have any questions, please ask while I'm going along. I don't mind questions at all. Otherwise, I'll just keep talking. So let's see, I'm going to go to some of these that I think are particularly helpful if I was a student, and then we'll go from there. So we'll go to the welcome page. And if you haven't seen the video already, there's a video there to watch. Maybe a little bit similar to what we're doing tonight, so a little bit redundant, but not totally redundant. Let's see, I don't want to go there. Let's see, I want to go there to the syllabus. So part of the new website that Terry helped me put together here has the syllabus as a web page, where I'm used to having this more as a Google Doc in the past, but you can still access a PDF version at the top here. And let's just see if that works. Should work. Asking me to download it. I'm not going to do that. My contact information is here. My office hours are by appointment. By the way, this phone number is a Google Voice phone number, so I will get it comes to me in the form of an email, text message, or an email message. But it's real time, and I do look at my email daily, so I should get that pretty quickly. The required textbooks, the first one is our mains course textbook. I'm sure everybody's has that by now. If you wanted to purchase a copy of it, this is what it looks like when you actually buy it. I wouldn't recommend it. I think it costs about $50. So unless you really like this stuff, it's probably better just to read it online or read it on a PDF on your screen and print out the pages you want. I think at one point in time, I did the math on how much it would cost to print this and print it at like Kinko's or whatnot, and it's pretty expensive too. So it's up to you if you want to print it out or not, but there are options for that. Here's, $89. I'm sorry, I said 50, but here's where you would order that if you wanted a printed version. The second book is the Crucial Conversations book. Very fairly easy read. You can get this in a paperback like this one, I believe a hardback, and also an audible.com version if you're doing a lot of commuting and you don't think you're going to have time to read this. Just get the Audible version and you can listen to the book while you commute, which is a great way to save time. Free PDF version of Crucial Conversations. I don't know if I put this here or if Terry found it, but this is interesting. And there it is. That's kind of nice to have that option. Some e-readers will let you import a PDF, and that would be a great version, a great way to use this version. And then, of course, the OWL. And let's see if this is one of the links that's broken. Let's see. Now, this is one of the ones I fixed. But as I said before, this website that's at Purdue University is a standard for writing authority. And it was recently completely remodeled. It looks really quite slick now. It was a little bit dated before, but it had great information. So some of the links have changed. And here are the options here on the left here. So we're going to come back here a little bit later. Now, some of the other books I put on here were books that I have found to be very helpful, the first two. The first one is a book that I found when I was doing my master's degree at San Diego State. And they have a program down there, rhetoric and writing program that you can get a master's in. I wasn't getting my master's in that particular area, but I took a course in that field. And we used this book, this Rebecca Burnett book. What this book did for me is open my eyes up to the whole world of writing as a profession, writing that was different than journalism or different than writing a novel or writing short stories. It was professional, technical writing, really. And it was the type of writing that we see every day and we might not think about it. And sometimes we see really good versions of this, and sometimes we see poorly executed versions of this type of work. And the reason they have programs at universities in this field is because there really is a lot of design and science to what they do in terms of how they lay out information on the page, so that it's easily understood, and it conveys the message that the folks that either are writing it or the folks that hire the people that are writing it want to convey. So anybody can become a little bit of that type of writer, and I think it's helpful for most people in their careers to know a little bit of that type of writing, because I think we all are going to be asked at some point in time in our careers to put together a manual, a training manual, or a brochure, or even a report. And sometimes we're kind of at a loss for what's the best way to do that, and what's the best methodology, what's the best format. And so a book like this, Technical Communication, Rebecca Burnett, is a book that is great to have on the shelf for those times when you're asked to do that type of writing. Now, very similar to Rebecca's book is this one by Richard Johnson Sheehan. And I found this one just by looking for similar books to Rebecca's that were more updated. Rebecca's is a little dated now. I don't think that she has published anything recently. I think the last time was probably before 2010. So I was looking for something that had been in the same wheelhouse, if you will, but more updated. You should be familiar with the Bass Handbook of Leadership. You were exposed to that in Joy's class in 311. Now here, Initially, I realized tonight that I had this linking to Amazon, I believe. And I thought, well, that's not very helpful, because I did have a PDF version of the chapter that I wanted you to read in the past. So in the past, I assigned chapter 1 of this handbook. Now Joy assigns that in 311. So we're not reading it in this class, but I did ask you to submit your papers from her class. And so you might need to refer back to that chapter. Here's a copy of it. And then in the syllabus, we have the standard kind of disclaimers and outcomes, learning outcomes. And this is all boilerplate you should see this in every one of the leadership courses. The outcomes, they might be a little bit different, but the leadership studies program, we condensed our learning outcomes down to 4 learning outcomes. So we're all going to be picking from these 4 here. So you will see what I've done is I've highlighted the one, or made it bold, made the text bold, of the one that really pertains to this course. Communicate with a diverse group and be able to evaluate, integrate the perspectives of others when seeking pragmatic solutions to leadership. It's the most relevant one to this course. What to expect, standard verbiage. This probably talks a little more about synchronous, and as I said in one of my posts to you already, that we're not going to have a lot of synchronous classes. Now, we will have some student-led sessions in this course. We'll have quite a few of them, but but this is the only live session that I plan on having. So everything that's going to be asynchronous, all the modules are up right now. You can work at whatever speed you want to get those done for the most part. And I just find that that's the real benefit of online education. And I wanted to make that as much as I could available to the students. All right, so standard verbiage on how many hours per week you should plan on devoting to this course, and then a schedule. And for the most part, this schedule should match the syllabus. This is a syllabus, isn't it? Yeah. So as much as possible, the syllabus should match the modules. The grading policy, there's 154.5 points in this course. I think Joy's class has like 1,000 points. So you just, I mean, if you see an assignment in my class and you say it's only worth 5 points. Well, if you do the math, that's like a 50-point assignment in Joy's class. So why is it that way? I don't know. This is the way my brain works, and I guess hers works a little bit differently. So not too many points in this class, and so every one matters. Cutoffs for grades, expectations, due dates. For the most part, things are going to be due 11:59 on Sunday. There's some exceptions to this with the discussion post, as you probably realize from the first week. The initial post is due on Wednesday at 11:59, and then you're required to do 2 replies to your classmates. So that would be an exception. The other exception to this that comes to mind is the last week of school. The last day of this course is on a Friday, so we don't have those 2 extra days on that week. So just be aware of that. Don't plagiarize, of course. Honesty, academic honesty policy. Expectations for myself. I'll try to review material so it's as current as possible and accurate as possible. I'll be available to answer questions as frequently as I can. My plan is to look at this course daily. It might not be until the last part of the day, but I plan on looking at it daily to see what kind of questions are out there. Fair and honest evaluation techniques. No surprises here. I'm not trying to trick you into any particular question. I'm just looking for honest opinions and hopefully opinions based on the readings and some thoughtful introspection of the material that we have here. And I will try to provide you with feedback on assignments within a week of submission. Now, if the way this works a little bit with assignments is, since most assignments are due Sunday at 11:59, I'm probably not looking at those until at the earliest Monday, because if I start looking at them earlier, I can only grade some of them, right? I can only grade the ones that are submitted. And technically you have more time to submit those. So I think in this past week I started looking at the posts on Saturday, I think, because I saw that there were quite a few people that had finished the post. But if I saw that it was Saturday and you made your initial post, but you were still lacking the replies, well, of course you still have more time to do those. So I didn't grade those assignments, and I still have to go back and grade those. Tips for online learners. You guys are starting to become experts because this is your second class, and probably several people online here on our call have taken other online classes. Minimum hardware, pretty much most computers nowadays can handle what we're doing here. Probably the most taxing thing that we'll do in this course, the most taxing to the computer, is going to be the videos that we record of our online training sessions, which I'll talk about when I talk about the signature assignments. But when you get to those and you have to save those you can save them to the cloud. I usually save them to my computer, and it takes a little while for the system to download it. I'm working off of Wi-Fi here, so maybe if you're on a hard line, it's a little bit quicker. But it can take several minutes, maybe 30 minutes, 40 minutes to get that video downloaded to your computer. And then the other part of the process, if you decide to edit it, and I use YouTube in the Creator Studio, I believe it's called. But if you do that, it's going to take some time, but it also takes some computer power. So the rendering of the video after you edit it takes a little bit of time. So just be aware of that. If you have an older computer, you might not want to edit your video. It's all pretty standard. Universities have great student affairs offices that help with a lot of different subjects. If you have a learning disability, if you need help, if you're on campus, they have usually a health center, librarians that really know how to research topics, and there's just so many people on campus that can help you. So if you are having any problems, technical help or anything, please reach out. Here's some more stuff about the students with disabilities. Add drop policy. And then a summary of the weekly events, right, or weekly assignments. 8 weeks is a quick session, a quick class. It's about twice as fast as a normal course. So kind of expect that if it seems like we're doing a lot, just remember that this is an accelerated course. So try to keep up. All right, next. Okay, so modules is a very important tab. This is a great way. Now, before the homepage was redone to have the different weeks in the block format right in the middle of the screen, this was the way to navigate the course. You just came here and you would click on week 1, and that would take you to the main page. That same main page that you can get to now from the home button. Didn't used to be able to do that. Now you can. So now you have 2 options. But the modules I've always found as a very helpful way to navigate the course. So I'll kind of lay it out right there. Grades, you should be able to review your grades there. I don't know what's going to give me. Calendar. Oh wait, we got to go back to the dashboard. Dashboards are always, if you find yourself and you're like, hey, wait, I got kicked out of the course somehow, like if you go to your calendar or your inbox, just go back to the dashboard, find the course, click on it. You probably have more than one course in your dashboard because you were just in Joy's class, but I only have one down there. Zoom, when you do your online training session, you will need to set that up in Zoom. I apologize tonight. I meant to send that invite out earlier. It's pretty easy to send an invite out. You just go into Zoom and create a new meeting, and you put your date in there, your day and time, and then it should, once you hit save, it should give you an option for basically saving what happened there? Once you hit save in Zoom for that meeting, it will have a screen that asks you if you want to create an invite. And if you click that, what it does is it just saves a bunch of text to your clipboard. So it's a little bit rudimentary in the way it does it, but that's how it does it. So you just go back to your whatever email program you're using, create a message, and then you can paste that invite right in there. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just let me know later, and I'll walk you through it. Another way you can, another place you can post your invite for your session is under announcements, where I posted this particular Zoom session. So if we go here, you'll see the text I'm talking about. So this is the text that it basically saves to your clipboard. And then, you just come in here, create a new announcement, and then in the body of it, paste whatever's in your clipboard to this section. And this is what you're going to get. I did change this to a link by editing this and then putting in a link for that. Don't have to do that. I think most people can figure out that, they can just cut and paste this into their browser. All right, so any questions about the course, the way it's laid out, the website, before we get into the assignments? All right. I'm going to put this on student view just so I know that we're looking at the same thing. You will notice if you go to, I believe, week 2, but every week after that as well, you're going to have something about schedule your online leadership training session. Your online leadership training session is one of 2 signature assignments for Leadership 331. And what is it? It's basically an online session that you will host, you will facilitate, and your classmates will attend. And I will attend some of those as well. And when I attend, you just treat me just like any other participant. I'm just signing on, and now I'm the student when I sign into your session. Now, what this is here is it's where you would sign up to. Interesting. Okay. Cannot access this functionality in student view. This is another reason it's good to view this as a student. Well, now I don't know if.
Do you want me to share mine and then you can tell them where to point and click as a student?
Are you able to see it?
I think so. I don't know. That was one of my questions. I left a voicemail. So
yeah, I saw your voicemail. Let me just see something real quick. Now,
I can get into that. In fact, I've set myself up twice.
So that's weird that you know what though? Every week has the same link. Now I tried to get there from week 3. Which week were you trying?
I tried it this morning and then I don't know if I did it right. So then I did it this afternoon. Now I have 2 sessions open and I still don't know if I did it right.
Mm-hmm. What's weird now is
There's my screen.
now I hit dashboard and it doesn't want to take me to dashboard even. So let me try courses. All right. So I tried week 3. I'm going to try week 2 because I know that that's the first week you'll see that link. It's a collaboration Google Sheet. Okay, that one doesn't work either. And if I hit dashboard, nothing, courses, interesting. So I'll tell you what, who was I just talking to?
Lisa.
Lisa.
Yeah.
Do me a favor.
Sure.
Just try to do exactly what I did. Go to week 2. And then from week 2, click on collaboration Google Sheet.
Okay. Do I have to share?
No, I just want to know if you can get there first.
Okay. I just did that and it worked on mine.
It worked on yours.
Yeah.
It takes me where I can set it up, and that's all it does. Yeah. I don't know if I'm setting it up right.
So I'm going to leave student view. If you guys aren't having that problem, I guess it's not a problem because I can always leave student view and it should work for me now. Yeah,
see,
so now.
2 different ones there.
Okay, so.
But I don't know if I did it right.
So what you need to do when you get here is instead of starting a new collaboration, so I'm just going to delete this. So this is also something new with the new website. I'm going to delete Shauna's too. Shauna, is it okay if I delete this? Oh, it's deleted. Okay. So what you do is you go in here. In the past, what I used was just a Google Doc. Login. Okay, here we go. All right. Do you see this spreadsheet?
When I log in, I can't get to this. I don't know about anybody else, but I couldn't get to it.
All right, so let's go back to. Okay, so when you see this screen, when you click on this, it doesn't take you to the spreadsheet?
If I remember, I don't even think I have that option. I don't know. Did anybody else try? Shauna, I know that you tried.
I'm doing it right now on my phone through the app, and it's allowing me to get in, but I have to authorize it and then log into Google through my student email.
Okay, yeah, you definitely have to be logged into your HSU account. And just click around here, get back. Should also show up here under collaborations. Yeah, there it is. So this is a new way to put this sheet in here. It's basically what it is a sheet in my Google Drive. So if I click on that, in the past, I didn't use collaboration to get there. So here it says that login. This is probably what you were talking about, Lisa, or Shauna, or I'm not sure who was saying that, but where it asked you for authorization. Mine was automatic. If I just left it on that screen for a little bit, then this screen popped up. This is an example of what I want you to do. I want you to go in there, put your last name, first name, the date that you plan on doing your session. Now, what I'll say about your session time and day is you can do it whenever you want, whatever's convenient for your schedule. Now, you have to realize if you want to do it at 2 a.m. on a Saturday night, or Sunday morning rather, there might not be anybody there. So you can do it whenever you want, but the more you kind of pick a time that's probably good for everybody, the more likely you're going to have participants join you, right? So whatever day and time you want to do your session, you put in there. You put the title of your training session there and a description. Now, this is just an example. This one above, this is mine. By the way, I'm going to get rid of the background on this, I think. Let's see. That didn't work. This is an example. Now, the last thing you'll put in here is this meeting ID. And the place you get that is from that, that Zoom announcement. That if you go back to that announcement that I did for tonight, it's this number right here. Meeting ID. It might not be this number for you. You'll have to wait and see when you get your invite and to see what your meeting ID is. It might be the same number as mine, or it might be different. So once you have that from your invite from Zoom, you're going to enter that right here on the spreadsheet. Now, what this does by having this sheet available to everybody is it allows people to browse the sessions, see the times, see the ones that work best for them, and then sign up in this column over here, column F. And the way you would sign up here is you click on the cell, and then say you're going to join all these other people. You just put comma, and then put your name. Now, if you don't do that, and if you just go up here and type Rich, you just deleted everybody else, right? Now, what's great about Google Sheets is I have version history somewhere in here. Edit, probably. Right here, under File, Version History. And I can basically see that, and I can go back. If I know, if you do by chance delete people and you can't figure out how to go back and fix it, or if you notice somebody deleted your name, let me know and I'll go back and I'll see what happened, and then I'll basically revert it back to a different version. So it works pretty good. As I say that, oh, thought I was going to keep my name there. Okay, so that's how you'll sign up for the session. Let's talk about the session a little bit and what you're going to do. So if we go to, now this is an assignment that isn't due until week 8, the last week of the course. So you'll find, if you go to week 8, the assignment posted there, right? You can get to it from there's links to this from other modules, but this one has a direct link to the assignment. You conduct and record an online leadership training session using Zoom. You're going to post your training session as a project in your Portfolium account. Have you guys set up your Portfolium accounts? I can't see your faces right now, so if you just
yes.
Yes, we have.
All right, awesome. So what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to use Portfolium to basically, and actually, let me just make sure this is the right link here. Yeah, okay. So we're going to use Portfolium to basically share our signature assignments. Now, let me go back to the assignments. There should be a rubric for this assignment. This is kind of generic stuff down here, like how do you get on Zoom and all that stuff. What is Portfolium? So I don't see the rubric here. So let me look. You guys won't see these grayed out sections. You're not going to see those on your Canvas. So I'm going to try to avoid using those. I would know if I was going to my rubrics, I'd go right to outcomes and I could get to it. But it should be available from the modules as well. On a page that you can actually see. So I'm just going to go to week 2 again. So I start talking about this assignment in week 2 because we have to get through everybody's presentations and we only have 8 weeks to do it. And if there's 22 of you, that means more than 2 a week, right? So we have to start. And if we don't start until week 3, and that's very ambitious. I don't think I've had anybody that's gone that quickly, week 3, but certainly week 4, then you got week 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So you have 5 weeks to do 22 sessions. So you're going to have 3, 4, 5 sessions a week in some cases. So for that reason, I want people to try to do these early, try to get them out of the way. It's going to be easier for you to have a captive audience if you do it early, I think. And it's a big relief once you have one of these signature assignments done. And once you have them both done, it's a huge relief. Okay, so here's the activities in week 2. Takes you to Google Sheet. There will be a requirement. So you get, was there 20 points for facilitating this assignment? Plus an additional 10 points for attending 2 of your, not just attending, but participating in 2 of your classmates' sessions. So that's 30 points, 2 different assignments. The way you get these 10 points for participation is you go to this discussion forum here. Oh, that just takes you to the generic. And this is what we expect for discussions. Oh no, this is the assignment. Let's do 2. What did you like about the session? Give information you learned. How might this connect to other leadership topics not mentioned by the facilitator, but it's things that you knew about? And I give an example here how you would do that. So it's not a huge post. It could be a lot longer than this, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, here's the rubric. Oh, this is probably the rubric for participation. We'll take a look at this one and then we'll try to find the other one. Okay, that's just telling us how to view it. Click the options icon to the top right and select show rubric. So once again, I'm in my instructor view. So I'm not sure if I'm looking at what you guys see.
If you click at the top right by edit, there's those 3 dots.
Oh, okay, right in there.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go back to student view while I'm here. Let's go down. Here's an example, by the way. We're on week 8 right now, module. And if you go there, there is an example of one of these student leadership training sessions if you click this video. So I'd recommend you do that after this session tonight. Let's take a look at, here's another example. Go back to the assignment, hopefully. Okay, here's the rubric. $20, as I said before. Content is going to be worth 10, so you just want to make sure you pick some good content to train on. You can always run the topic by me early in the planning process to make sure you have a good topic. What I'm looking for is leadership-centric topics. This is a leadership program. We can learn a lot from each other. We have several of our classmates, different areas, different work areas, different life histories. And what I'm hoping that is everybody can pull from their worlds, from their fields, and from their histories, and pull something different so that when we actually start attending these sessions and participating, that we'll all learn quite a bit from the different people in the room. So if you have a good idea of what you want to do your session on, run it by me as soon as possible, and I'll tell you what I think the pitfalls might be, and how you might tweak it to make it a little bit better if I see areas that can be improved.
How long are they supposed to be?
So 15 to 30 minutes. I'm just seeing if it says here. Historically, that's what I've asked for. Now, 15 minutes is pretty darn quick to do any kind of training, right? So most of them, they use up the 30 minutes. They go more like right to 30 minutes.
And it did, oh, sorry. Say it did say you get 3 points for any additional. How many? I mean, I'm assuming that there's a limit to how much extra credit we can get.
There is no limit.
Oh,
In
okay.
fact, I'm not saying that you should game the system, but this is certainly an area where students have made up for other shortcomings in the assignment arena. But remember, when you're attending these sessions, you're not just attending; you're participating, and then you have to write about those sessions later. So you can't just log on and then hit your mute button and then walk around taking care of whatever else you have to take care of that day. There's no multitasking, in other words. When you sign on to one of these sessions, you are the intent is that you will participate 100% and you will give your undivided attention to the facilitator, your classmate. So for that reason, you really should be working for that 3 points. And so, there's quite a bit of availability for extra credit there. And the reason I don't put a cap on that is this is my favorite part of the course, and I think it's consistently rated as one of the higher value parts of the course from students. And the more sessions you attend, the more of your classmates' sessions that you attend, the more you're going to get out of the course. And that's really my goal, is that you get the most out of this course. So please attend as many as you can. All right, so any other questions about this particular assignment? The BAS chapter 1, go back to that reading if you're kind of stumped as to what you should pick as a topic, because I see that chapter as kind of the foundation for leadership studies. And it really talks about what leadership studies is, and the history and the research behind leadership studies. And I think it can really produce new ideas. Like if you connect that with your own worlds of work and your experience, I think you can come up with some really good ideas for the online training session. Now, if there's no further questions about that assignment, I'd like to transition to the white paper, which is the second signature assignment. The white paper is obviously a written assignment. So we have one oral assignment to facilitate. By the way, facilitating is a skill set that's higher than just presenting material. Facilitating means that you're engaging your participants and your subject. And you might have activities that you're engaging them with. And the best facilitators are pulling the knowledge in the room together. So they might be the smartest person on the subject because they've done all the research, but they're looking for the connections that other people bring to the table. So it's a very high level skill, and we're just jumping right into that in this course, and getting some practice and seeing how we can do in this area. And I think, as I said before, you'll find that this is a very rewarding assignment. The white paper think of it as a research paper for the workplace. Some people in the audience today here online may have done white papers in the past. I did my share in the Coast Guard as an officer in the Coast Guard, and I found them very valuable for leadership. If I wanted to, as a junior officer, some of the times where I felt my opinion was most valued by leadership is when I constructed a good white paper on a topic. And I think the reason is you do that research. You have the research to back up any recommendations that you're making, and you have it all in one paper. And so for leadership, smart leadership that's data driven, they're going to go to white papers. They're going to go to people that can write white papers, and they're going to say, hey, we need to make some decisions in this area, and we need to find out what the possible decisions are. So go out there, research it, come back, let me know. I'll give you an example of a white paper I did in the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard was buying some new ships, the largest ships they have, the national security cutters, 420-foot ships. It's nothing for the Navy, right? They have 1,000-foot plus aircraft carriers, but for the Coast Guard, it's their biggest vessel that they have, and they wanted to reduce the manning a little bit than their previous high endurance cutter is what they call it. High endurance being they can go further into the oceans and for longer periods. So what the Coast Guard realized is that the Navy had a littoral combat ship, which was very similar to the size of the national security cutters. So what I did is I went to San Diego, and I visited some of the littoral combat ships, and I researched how they were operating and their crew rotation concept, which allowed them to rotate crews more often, so that there was a higher tempo once people were on board the ship, and they reduced some time by having all the maintenance done in port during their dry dock periods. And so I researched all this stuff and put it together in a white paper for the leadership of the Coast Guard training program, saying this is how you can get to a reduced manning area on, or at least this is how the Navy does it. And then I gave them some recommendations on what I thought the Coast Guard should do. And that was pretty much it. And that was one area where the leadership really used my white paper. I was surprised at how far it went to the different captains, admirals, and also the weight it was given among the information that was out there. And the reason was there wasn't a lot of other specific information addressing the issue. So that's one example of how a white paper can be used to inform leadership and to kind of drive leadership in a certain area. It doesn't matter if you're the leader or if you're the hard charging worker that is trying to do the right thing and wants to influence leadership. Either way, the white paper is a valuable tool. If I was a leader and I was looking for information on something and I had some smart people working for me, I would ask them for the same thing. Put it down, put it in a paper, research it, and make sure that you uncover all the stones that you can think of, and then bring it back to me. That's what we're looking at. From a different standpoint, you can do a white paper on any subject. You can be in education, you can be in business, you can be in the public sector, nonprofit. But if you have an area where you're wanting to make some purchases or some decisions, and you want to make the best decisions you can, you might want to go out and do a white paper and research the field that you're looking at before you make those decisions. Let's take a look at the white paper rubric real quick. So I think the white paper is due right in the middle of the course, like week 4. Let's go to week 4. So we have our white paper resources, the grading rubric. The Purdue OWL has an area on white papers. They actually have a slideshow here on white papers. So let's look at the rubric. All right, so this is the standard writing rubric for Humboldt State University. You may have seen this in 311. You will certainly see this in your future courses. It's always the same. It's kind of a standards-based model here with the 1 through 4, 4 being the capstone. And that's what you're striving for. 4 is all the way down, right? 4 times 5 is 20. And that's how much this assignment's worth, 20 points. You do all this here, and you can get all 20 points. All right. Any questions about the white paper? Okay, so before I mentioned that if we had time, we would go to the Purdue OWL. I'm looking at my clock. I know I'm a little slow tonight. I think it had something to do with the new website. I'm not entirely used to it yet. And for that reason, I don't want to go past an hour. We're right at an hour now. So I would say the Purdue OWL is something you should do on your own. Get in there, take a look at it. I will answer the question that was asked in the announcement tab about where that, or maybe I'll just fix the link. I think somebody pointed out that the link took them, it was actually broken. So what I'll do is I'll go to the page where that link is and see if that section still exists, if they renamed it, and I'll point you to the right section. I think it's in week 2, so I should do that probably tonight, which I will. And with that, I am going to stop the recording and I'll hang online if there's any questions.
Hi, Rich. This is Ryan. I've got going back to where you sign up for the training. I tried to do it here while we were talking, and it wants to allow my Google account to access it. I hit allow probably 5 times, and it's not linking to that